All right, welcome to part 2 of the review for the test. These are problems 17 through 30. These are the inequalities. These will be the majority of the test, so you need to make sure you understand these. So let's go through it. The first problem says v minus 5 is greater than 14. Again, make sure, what are we doing here? All I see is a minus 5. So the opposite of a minus 5 is plus 5. Look at what's being done to the variable and then undo it. So 14 plus 5 is 19, so v is greater than 19, which would mean an open dot, an open dot at 19 that is going to be shaded to the right. 18, hopefully I won't hit the wrong buttons again. A plus 15 is less than or equal to 6. Okay, so what's the opposite of a plus 15? Subtract 15. So I'm going to subtract 15 and say 6 minus 15 less than or equal to 6 minus 15 is negative 9. So that means, okay, I have a less than or equal to negative 9. So I would put a closed dot at negative 9 and shade to the left. And I should put a closed dot, not an open dot. So I kind of had messed up there, but there I am filling it in. Okay. If I'm going too fast, please go ahead and pause it, replay, rewind, but I'm trying to make sure I don't make this super long. Okay, number 19. 19 is a very simple one. It says negative 3 is greater than x divided by 16. What's the opposite of divide? Opposite of divide is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply. That would give me negative 48 greater than x. And again, remember, the variable's on the right. I want it flip-flopped, and make sure the arrow still stays pointing to what it should. Then you can put a 48, negative 48, open dot, and shade to the left. Number 20, 6b is greater than or equal to negative 30. Okay, got to realize that 6b means 6 times b. Okay, so what is the opposite of multiply? Divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. So I would get b is greater than or equal to negative 5, which means I would put a closed dot at negative 5 and then shade to the right. So those should all be pretty easy. Again, you're just keeping track of the say operations. Okay, so number 21. I have 10k plus 4 is greater than or equal to 214. So I notice here that says 10 times k plus 4. So again, I'll take care of the outer subtract first and say subtract 4 from both sides to get 210. So 10 times k is greater than 210. Then I'm saying times, so the opposite of times is to divide. So I'm going to divide and get k greater than 21. Closed dot, shaded to the right. So if you do have any questions on these, you can always rewind, or you can send me questions through Edmodo, and I will do my best to answer them. All right? Next problem, number 22. Negative 6 plus 6p is greater than or equal to 72. So what's the opposite of a minus 6? Plus 6. You got to read that as a minus 6. That negative in front means a minus. Okay, 6p is greater than or equal to 78. So then you can divide by 6 and get p is greater than or equal to 13. Closed dot, shaded to the right. So I added, then I divided. Okay, number 24, I've got negative 10n plus 8 is greater than or equal to 78. So I'm going to subtract 8. That gives me negative 10n. Negative 10 times n is greater than or equal to 70. Then I'm going to divide by negative 10. Now, again, remember, when I divide both sides by negative, I'm going to switch the inequality. I have negative 7 for an answer, but instead of being greater than, it is now less than or equal to, which changes the direction of where I would shade. So make sure you keep that in mind. Number 25. Negative 84 is less than or equal to 8 parentheses r minus 7 minus r. Okay, so I'm going to distribute because I see parentheses. That would give me 8r minus 56. Okay, now you got to see, is there like terms combined? So after you distribute, check to see if there are like terms combined. And there are. 8 minus r, 8 minus 1r is a 7r. And then I'm going to add 56. Now keep in mind, when you're adding 56, like negative 84 plus 56 means you don't get 140. Negative, positive, take away. And you would get negative 28. Okay, and then I can divide by 7. And I get negative 4 is less than r. But again, I like to flip-flop those. And that's r is greater than negative 4, which would make the shading go a different direction. Okay, open dot shaded in the right way. Okay, so here's the next problem. Hopefully I didn't cut off 25, but I don't think I did. But I had to pause, and so I'm continuing again. Here we have negative 150 is greater than 6n plus 3 parentheses 6 plus 5n. So what we see again the parentheses, so we need to distribute first. So you're going to see me distribute first. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15n. Okay, then we need to combine our like terms. And we can see there we got 6n and 15n, which is going to give us 21n plus the 18. Now we can subtract and then divide. So negative 150 minus 18, that's what you would type in the calculator, would be negative 168. Then when you divide by 21, you get negative 8. Notice I didn't switch it because my answer was negative. I only switch when my answer is when I'm dividing by a negative. I did flip-flop so I can make sure I shade the right way. So there you can see I've got this shaded the right way. So we've got that, negative 8, solid dot shaded to the left. Alright, next question, number 27. 94 is greater than 4 minus 6x minus 8 parentheses. Be careful here. This is the one where you need to be careful because you're going to multiply by a negative 6. So, because you got that minus 6, you're going to treat that as a negative 6. Negative 6x plus 48. Then combine your like terms. That gives you 52 minus 6x. Then we can subtract, and then we can divide by negative 6. Now you got to make sure that when you do that, you do switch the inequality. So you can see that I'm switching it, and then I flip-flop. So I can put an open dot at negative 7 and shade to the right. Again, if you need any more, if it needs to go slower, just pause it, look at the steps, rewind a bit if you have to. That's fine. Use the technology to your advantage. Number 28. We got 176 less than or equal to 4 parentheses 5, negative 5x plus 4. And again, we're going to distribute. So negative 4 times negative 5 is negative 20x. 4 times 4 is 16. Then we're going to subtract. That's going to give me 160 because there was no like terms combined. And then I go ahead and divide by negative 20. Now remember, what happens when I divide by negative, that will be, say, switched the inequality, then I'll worry about flip-flopping. Okay, so I like to do it that way. And then we go solid dot shaded to the left. So again there, you can see how I'm taking those steps slowly, one step at a time. Notice how I've got it organized. That, to me, guys, that makes it easier. So kind of keep that in mind. 29, negative 2n plus 3, no, I'm sorry, negative 2n plus 38 plus is less than 4 parentheses n plus 8. So we're going to distribute. Now we have variables on both sides. Ah, no, yes we do. It's okay, 4n plus 32. Now, this is what I like to do. Like I said, I like to make variables go to the left and numbers go to the right. So when I say variable to the left, that positive 4n will become a minus 4n. And the plus 38 will become a minus 38. That gets rid of the 4n and 38 on the left and the right respectively. Negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6n. 32 minus 38 is negative 6. So then I divide by negative 6, and that will change the direction of the inequality, and I have n greater than 1. But the key there is when the variables are on both sides, I like to go variables to the left, numbers to the right. And you can see how we've got that. Alright, final step. Number 30, our final problem I'm going to do for this part. So this is around 10.5 minutes, so it's not bad. I thought it was going to be much worse. Negative 2 is parentheses 8b plus 6, close the parentheses, less than or equal to negative 6b plus 18. So I'm going to distribute and get negative 16b minus 12, negative 6b plus 18. Now, again, variables to the left, so that's going to be a positive 6b. Whoops, wrong button. Let's try that again. 6b. And then numbers to the right, plus 12. That will let me have negative 10b less than or equal to 30. Because I have net, I'm going to divide by negative. I will change the inequality and have b is equal or less is greater than or equal to negative 3. So then I do my shade, put a closed dot, shade to the right. Okay, if there are any questions, feel free to ask. You can send it through Edmodo. I will do my best to answer. But, go back through these problems. See if you understand them. And if you do, hopefully that will make things a lot easier for the test, and I'll see lots better grades because I know y'all can do it. Thank you very much.